Hi everyone and welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and in this video I'm going to outline my top 10 most exciting announcements of 2022. Let's get started. Okay folks, as the intro suggests, this video is all about the most exciting announcements that Hot Toys made this year. Not releases, but figures they put up for pre-order, announced that they are coming next year or the year after, whatever, take the finger out and they start making and releasing these things. So I'm not going to do this in any particular order. So what I did was I went back through all the figures announced that went up for pre-order this year, and I just kind of picked out the 10 that basically I'm gonna get. These ones are coming home, ones I'm really excited. There are other ones as well. Some of these I've already pulled the trigger on and some of them are on my wish list, but I know that they are coming home. These are the ones that I really got excited about. Now I haven't put them in any particular order because, to be honest, that was just very difficult. Just want to let you know as well that this is day 4 of the 12 days of Christmas. If you've been watching my videos over the last few days, you'll notice I dropped one on Christmas Day, one on Stephen's Day, one on the 27th yesterday, and then one today. Every single day of the 12 days of Christmas, I'm releasing a video at 3 PM Greenwich Mean Time, that's my time, or 10 AM Eastern Time, or 7 AM West Coast. So maybe check them out. So these are all ones that obviously none of these figures are released yet, they've just been announced, but just going to get stuck into it. So obviously the one on the screen right now, this could be very well the one that got me the most excited. So this is the final suit from No Way Home, or the red and blue suit, or a lot of people call it the classic suit because it does look very like the typical classic suit that you'd see in some of the majority of the Spider-Man comic books. So you've got the red and the blue, and even like just the webbing and the spider and stuff like that. How could I not like this? This is like a perfect example of a triple threat. Do I love the character Spider-Man? Yes. Do I love the source material, No Way Home? It's the greatest Spider-Man film ever made. And do I love this version? Do I love this particular suit, the red and blue, the classic, the one that looks like it's been pulled off the pages of a comic book? Absolutely. Love the symbol, love the vibrancy of the red and the blue. Even I like the kind of shininess of the blue as well. The head sculpt and the fact that it's Tom Holland. Tom Holland, I do believe, is the best Spider-Man. This head sculpt's phenomenal. This is an amazing head sculpt. It's fantastic. It's like, okay, it's still a prototype, but if the prototype sucks, chances are the real product isn't going to be great. I'm really happy with this prototype. I'm just hoping they don't change anything, because they do have a track record of softening sculpts or sometimes really messing up sculpts, like the Tony Stark or the Ant-Man, or yeah, I'm going to say it, the Loki. I have the figure on order. It looks great with the helmet on. Tailoring's fantastic, but I really wanted to pose it with the head sculpt, the helmet off, and I feel that maybe I can't really do it. But I'm getting sidetracked. So this is one of the figures that I was most excited about that Hot Toys came out and announced this year. It just looks fantastic. Head sculpt, the suit, the webbing, the texture on the suit as well, and that base. I'm going deluxe all the way on this one. All right, let's take a look at another one. Again, these are no particular order, but this announcement, now there's no in-art on this list. I was very excited about the in-art Joker, and I just felt it was too obvious to include the in-art Joker on this list, or even the in-art Batman. But I remember this is the Hot Toys version. I was particularly excited about this because I thought they did this right. I'm pretty sure they announced this on a Friday, and they announced this, and I was going to see the movie. Like, it opened on a Friday here in Ireland, and I saw this, and then I went to see the movie, and then I did a video pre and post. I was really excited about this because I actually really liked the movie. Now I'm more of a Dark Knight fan. The Dark Knight is the best Batman in my opinion, followed by like Michael Keaton. I love Michael Keaton, but that's more nostalgia. But I really liked Pattinson's rendition. I was kind of skeptical, but no, I thought it was really dark. It was a real film as opposed to just a blockbuster movie, and it was a blockbuster movie. But initially I really didn't like the suit, but the figure actually made me appreciate the suit more, because a lot of the kind of trailers, you couldn't really make out what was going on in the suit. Okay, you knew it had the kind of high collar and the way the cape sits and stuff like that, and you knew it was kind of like a it looked like he really cobbled it together, and I kind of like that now. But it was very dark and he was moving very fast. But now the Hot Toys actually shows up all the detailing, the subtle. There's a lot more going on in this suit than I actually thought. Now, this specific announcement, I'm talking about the deluxe Batman from Hot Toys, with the base, the modular base that has the light up steps and the kind of gargoyles in the back, and the Signal, because that's the one. I've got that more or less bought and paid for from the Devil's Workshop. I may see it sometime within the next 5 years. But I really like this announcement. I got really excited because I just saw the announcement and I was excited about seeing the movie, and then I went and saw the movie and I really liked it, and then obviously, like, this, it caused this suit to grow on me. Still not my favourite Batsuit. I'd still take the DX19 over this any day of the week. But I really like this, and I was excited about this. Alright, so the third one, Toby. I mean, come on. I'm not a fan of the Raimiverse. I'm not a fan of... I grew up with them, but I'm still not a fan of them. They're just really cheesy, and it doesn't hit the spot for me. I'm not a particularly big fan of The Amazing Spider-Man, but No Way Home made me appreciate Toby and Andrew more. And even though I'm not a big fan of their individual movies, I love the way that they weren't just token fan service. Obviously, it was massive fan service, but it played on nostalgia, it played on the fan service, but it gave them a pivotal role, and it really kind of showed them as like they were like the, you know, the elders, the wise ones who'd made bad decisions, learned from them, and they passed that on to Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man. And I thought that was really well done and really classily done. And let's face it, look how good this prototype head sculpt looked. I just hope that the same thing I said about the final suit head sculpt, I hope that Tom Holland head sculpt turns out as good as the prototype. I hope this Toby turns out as good as the head sculpt. No Way Home is going to be an expensive line for me, because I'm going to go get Toby, Andrew, the integrated suit. Yeah, I'm going to pose the three of them together because I want it screen accurate, because you need, like, if you want to do that kind of meme pose, like I have this vision where the three of them are in, like, you know, the one in the middle details, maybe the top or the middle or the one below, prime real estate. The three of them are just standing there, no stands, no accessories, just the three of them, exposed head sculpts, holding their masks and doing some sort of version of the meme pose. I've mentioned it hundreds of times before on this channel. I'm really looking forward to doing that. Although that's like 3 Spider-Man, Andrew, Toby, and then Tom, the integrated suit, just to do that. I have the battling version on the way. I'm getting the blue and red suit. That's a lot of Spider-Mans, in fairness, like, but this head sculpt's too good to pass up, and it's just the webbing is different on this than the integrated suit, and it's different than the Andrews, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I was excited about this as well. Right, moving on. How could you not be excited about this? I'm a bit ashamed to say, as a serious collector, I still don't have a Darth Vader in my collection. I'm kind of holding out for the quarter scale Vader. I don't want to work backwards in case they, and I do think they will, do like a 2.0 of that for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. Because let's face it, it would make sense, because that's when you saw Sebastian Shaw's head sculpt, and the head sculpt's fantastic on that. And they are doing 2.0s left, right and centre, so it would make sense that they do that. Now, a lot of people think they're going to do the quarter scale version of Darth Vader for Return of the Jedi and shrink it down to 1/6 scale. That doesn't always work. We've seen that most recently with the Batman Begins quarter scale. People thought they'd shrink it down for the first night out version of Batman Begins, but that was atrocious. They didn't do that. I actually still think they haven't yet nailed a 1/6 scale or a quarter scale version of the Batman Begins suit. That's a story for another day. Oh yeah, the Batman Begins suit is not on this list. This here, like, I have this vision to have a quarter scale DC, a quarter scale Marvel, and a quarter scale Star Wars. I have the Mark III in quarter scale. I'm waiting on the Dark Knight trilogy quarter scale Batman to come out. That'll be the DC, and I think the quarter scale Vader would be perfect. But I'm gonna wait, and hopefully they do a 2.0 for the 40th anniversary. So that will be my original trilogy representation. And this here, like, Kenobi wasn't perfect, but all I wanted to see was the two boys to go head to head in an exotic location, so it would look really good with the lightsabers waving around. That's exactly what we got. There was a lot of emotion in it. The acting was great. The script in that particular episode was great. The action was good, although it was kind of interrupted by the whole Reva storyline, which went nowhere. But this is fantastic, especially if you're getting the deluxe version, because then you could swap out all the clean parts and have it stand in for an original trilogy Vader. Now, I know a lot of people say, yeah, but it's not exactly an original trilogy Vader because there's subtle differences and nuances. I'm Vader blind. I don't care. I'll swap out the clean parts and pose it next to Bespin, and no one will know the difference, including myself. But this here, with the battle damage sculpt, is so unique. It has the battle damage sculpt mask with the eye, and I think the eye actually moves as well. And then you've got I'm pretty sure there's a bit of battle damage on the cape, and there definitely is in some of the control panel. And it has a USB light up lightsaber. Everyone wanted this. We all kind of saw it coming. We were wishful thinking. And to be honest, before the show, I call this, and a lot of people call this as well, like this is what you needed to see. I think this is the best utilization of Hayden Christensen. We got an opportunity to see Obi-Wan and Darth Vader to meet again, go head to head again, and it was the best way of kind of exposing some of Hayden, although this does not look like Hayden because it's heavily scarred and makeup and everything, but this is possibly one of the most exciting pieces. It's very hard. I couldn't actually, I tried to rank all these different announcements, and I couldn't, because I was like, am I more excited about the Vader, or am I more excited about the new the red and blue suit Spider-Man? I'm more excited about Cad Bane. I don't know. Right, moving on. It's the Mark III. This was an Iron Man that needed to be released. No one cares about the neon tech. Like, I apparently there's a big market in Asia for it. I personally don't care. Okay. I'm not into the holograms, I'm not into the Midas, I'm not into the neon tech. I know other people might be, and that is fine. Personally, I don't care about any of those. I don't even care about the house party protocol. I'm not like I don't have to have all the Iron Man. I pick and choose. And even there's some suits like the Mark V and Mark VII, which are fantastic, that I don't have because I can't afford and I don't have space for everything. But this is the Mark III. This started it all. Like, think about it. You could actually go and get the Mech Test Tony with the construction version, have a nice little workshop there with dummy, and then next to that you could have like the Mark III. Like, that is like an Iron Man display that would just look absolutely beautiful. The head sculpt on this, even though he does look a bit I think it's great. I really do think it's great. I really like, especially if you can see the blood here and the tiny little wispy bits of hair. The attention to detail is phenomenal. The head sculpt, I think it's really, really good. It might be a little bit old because I know he was younger then. He wasn't a young guy back then, but he was definitely younger. But like, look how chunky this suit looks on him, and you have battle damage swap out parts. Like, so I'm going to start at the start. This is why this needed to be made. Number one, the existing Mark III, even though it is die cast, it has this swap out torso mechanism. You get a neutral torso and you get a twisted torso. Basically, there's no torso articulation. That's silly. This is the better height. This is actually, you know, apparently those Iron Mans were underscaled, or maybe that's something that they're doing just so they can sell a new line. This is true scale, so it's a bit taller to match the rest of the diecast ones that have been 2.0 or 3.0 or 7.0 at this stage. The head sculpt here is updated. The paint apps are updated. You've got battle damage that swap out parts, loads of different panels and stuff like that, the usual light up parts. And the base, the diorama base, is actually quite impressive. And this is one that I'm going on. I actually went for the special edition this with the little crushed up Iron Man Mark III helmet, because it makes sense. You can have him on the base as if he's just conquered Ironmonger. You could have the crushed up and gnarled helmet on the ground, and then you can utilize this head sculpt. It makes sense because the Ironmonger pulls the mask off him towards the end of the movie. This, I did a video a few months ago, and it was like my top 5 Hot Toys predictions. I think I've got 3 out of 5 right so far. I think it was on this list at the time this hadn't been announced. Now it is. The Final Suit Spider-Man hadn't been announced. Now it is. Cad Bane hadn't been announced. Now it is. Zoe Kravitz Catwoman I'm waiting on. I think there was another one I can't remember offhand. I might have to check it out. But look, as a fan, I'm not a fan of the Raimiverse, but so the normal Green Goblin that they announced from No Way Home, I really didn't have any interest in. I thought it was cool. I thought the glider looked amazing, but I'm glad they did this, because this is, I think it's a better version of the Green Goblin. It's more, has a nod to the comic book, because he has the great smart utilizing the torn up hoodie to represent the purple hood, like it would, the Green Goblin would appear in the comics. You've got the satchel and belt around his waist. Of course, it's heavily battle damaged, and that's right up my alley. And you get the glider as well, and the head sculpt. I think this head sculpt is unreal. Yeah, granted, it's a very smiley, laughy, but it's kind of evil, smiley, maniacal looking, like he's, you know, causing chaos and he's delighted to be there. They've got his teeth right, they've got his hair right. This looks great. Again, one of those sculpts that hopefully won't soften. Cad Bane. I have not watched all the Clone Wars, okay? And I did not like the Book of Boba Fett. But this is such a strange statement. Episode 5 and 6 of the Book of Boba Fett was some of the best Star Wars content I've ever seen in my life. I have documented this well on my channel and on streams and other people's streams. Star Wars for me is the original trilogy, Rogue One, and The Mandalorian. They are things I would recommend to like say The Mandalorian. I'd recommend that to a Star Wars fan and a non-Star Wars fan. The Book of Boba Fett, I wouldn't recommend that to either, but I would recommend episode 5 and 6. Basically Mandalorian 2.5 or whatever. Now this here, what I'm looking at here, that scene between him and Cobb Vanth, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. That was quality TV. This guy walks out of the desert like an absolute badass. The makeup department and the costume department and the special effects crew, they just did, it's just so good, that scene. And the acting and the voice, the teeth, it was like this guy, there was a sense of urgency, it was intense, there was consequences, there were stakes, because like, you know, Star Wars, everyone comes back to life and all that kind of stuff and gets a bit annoying, whereas I prefer, like, if I'm watching a TV show or a series of movies, someone dies, they die, because that's kind of like how it is. There should be that sense of loss, that character, like, you know, like Game of Thrones, when people die, like these great characters were killed off, and it was like there was a sense of loss because you really like that character. But Star Wars tends to bring people back a lot, so there was no sense of kind of intense or consequence or fear, but there was fear done very well in this particular scene. Just all sorts of good. So this, I don't know who I'd pair this with, because I've got the Boba Fetts I want. I have the original trilogy, and then I have the Boba Roba 2-pack. I don't need any more Boba Fetts, and I cannot justify getting a Boba Fett from this show unless it's like seriously dropped down. Even at then, I don't think so. I think this guy could be just, I know he could just stand alone. He's just that good. It just really, it's an iconic kind of a moment, and I don't think I'd pair him with Cobb Vanth, to be quite honest with you. Bespin Luke, original trilogy, Luke Skywalker, from, again, one of the best, like it's the best Star Wars film, and one of the most iconic scene. You know, him going into Bespin, facing off with Darth Vader, that epic lightsaber battle. Even though that was like 1980, I still think that's one of my favorite lightsaber battles, to be honest. That duel, like, it goes on for, it's a long duel. He's clearly, like, you know, out of his depth, but he's still like his pure aggression going into it, and it's just the way, it's not just that the action was good or the effects were good or the lighting, and I really liked the way it was so dark, and you have the orange lights on the steps there, and that popped, and then of course the blue lightsaber and the red lightsaber popped, and you see Vader's power and fear, and he was out of his depth, but it added to the story as well, because you have that another layer when eventually he reveals that he's his father. So I'm really excited about this particular release. I'm going to go not for the deluxe on this though, because this is one of the, I tend to go, I suppose I don't always tend to go deluxe. I've skipped on a lot of bases. With the Andrew, the Toby, and the integrated suit, I'm not getting any of those bases. I don't have the space for them. I'd rather save the probably $300, because you're saving $140 if you get the regular version integrated as opposed to the integrated with the base. Andrew sold separately from the Lizard. That doesn't make a difference, but the Toby, then I'm not getting the sand base. I think there's $100 difference, something, but it's a significant amount of money can be saved, and space from just going from the 3. This one here comes with 2 bases, but the good base, the Bespin base, the kind of one with the orange parts on it, that's the one you want, and that comes with the regular. So the Dagobah base is kind of tacky looking, and that comes with the deluxe, but the deluxe has the Vader helmet with his head inside of it. To be honest, I can pass on that. What I want is this look, this Bespin Luke look, and I can't remember if this is a USB lightsaber. I actually don't think it is. I don't think it is, you know. Let me know if I'm wrong about that in the comment section down below. But look, it's Bespin Luke, and with the Bespin base, this has, and I could pose this with the Vader from Kenobi with the clean parts in, just without the battle damage. I was really excited about this. I cannot stop looking at the tailoring on this. Like, so the harness is one thing, and then he's got his polo neck and the other. I didn't realize there was actually I didn't realize there was a coat in between the polo neck and the outer coat. But it looks, the tailoring, this is the thing I love about Hot Toys. Their tailoring is so good that when these heavily layered figures, they don't look like the Michelin Man. They actually look streamlined and fitted the way they're supposed to. And like, even if you look at the detail here on this coat, look at that kind of zigzag pattern. I'm not sure, is that called hound's tooth or something like that? Again, let me know in the comment section if I'm right or wrong with that. But like, look at the details on the sleeves here with the little kind of the cuffs on the jacket with this bit to tighten the sleeves, and the little loops and stuff like that. The zip on this coat, of course, this could probably be pleather, so if your environment doesn't allow that, you can be in trouble. I'd be getting the ones to swap out nanotech tentacles as well, because I actually really liked that scene when he basically synced. It was so simple. It was like, it was kind of relevant as well, but a lot of people didn't like that. I thought that was pretty cool, the way the Stark Tech synced and took over the tentacles. It was such a humorous twist, but I thought it worked very well. I'm going to get this, but I am waiting to see the sculpt. With the glasses on, and let's face it, you're going to be posing this with the glasses on 99.9, actually 100% of the time, 100% of the time. But I do think if they get the underlying sculpt better, it would look better with the glasses on. That just makes sense. Because if the sculpt stays the same, which I don't think it will, because what was unique about this is they put these photos up, they made this announcement, they showed the head sculpt, but JC Hong put up a post on Facebook saying this is not the final product, we're working on to improve this. But still there was uproar. But as soon as JC Hong said that, I was like, yeah, fair enough. So yeah, this is it's more than likely coming home. I haven't pre-ordered this because I'm waiting to see the sculpt, but to be honest, if it looks like this with the glasses on, it looks fine. The star of the show here is the tentacles, the tailoring, the overall silhouette. I'm just glad they've done this. I remember being really excited seeing this because I love No Way Home, and I just think it's going to be a figure that's going to be unique looking. If they do this right and fix that head sculpt and everything is as on the prototype, this has potential to be figure of the year 2023. RoboCop, am I getting this? No. Why? Because I have the 1987, the RoboCop in the chair diecast at MMS 203 DO5. So that's it's diecast, has battle damage, swap out mouth plates, swap out battle damage helmet, chest plate, diecast sword, diecast gun, regular gun. Of course, the right thigh opens up so you can put the gun inside it. Mechanical chair, that's a showstopper. It is the centerpiece of my collection at the moment. So I don't need this, but this is still a very exciting release, because if I wanted to get another one, and it has a kind of it's a kind of a darker bluey kind of purple almost, whereas the one here is more of a brighter silver-y blue. But this is interesting because it shows that maybe things like Terminator aren't off limits. Maybe they're going to go back in 2.0 then, or 3.0 or whatever. And they're still doing these once-off, they're still doing things like Back to the Future, which is great to see. They're doing things like Terminator. They're so rare, but it gives hope that they're going to go back. I'd love them to go back and do a DX13. And if they just changed one thing, give it a leather coat. I don't tend to day one pre-order things. That would be a day one pre-order. You couldn't let that slip through. So this is really exciting. I'm not going to get it, but still very exciting all the same. I just want to flick back to, out of these 10, I just want to go back and we're going to go back through them and let you kind of if they're on this list, bar this RoboCop, if they're on this list, I'm going to get them. But I just want to go back and see if I pre-order them or not. So this one here, waiting to see the head sculpt. It's going to happen. I'm going to pre-order this. I really should get on this because I don't think, a lot of people are saying I'm surprised this hadn't actually gone to waitlist on Sideshow. But this is going to go to waitlist before it comes out. But I'm just not buying the whole Sideshow thing. I don't think Hot Toys are actually producing less. I think Sideshow are just ordering less. I'll use it as a take it to temperature, and I'll take in the data. But yeah, this is one I should really just get onto Lion Rock Toys or someone and sort it. I'm not 100% on this, to be honest. I'm not 100%. I'm like 90% there. Gonna pre-order, gonna get it. Not pre-order, get it, whatever. Just the reason being because it'd be very standalone in my collection. Very standalone, because what do I pair it with? I didn't like the Book of Boba Fett, although this episode and this scene was fantastic. Yeah, this is definitely, I haven't ordered it yet, definitely waiting it. I have this on pre-order, I have this on pre-order, I have this on pre-order. Yeah, this is pretty much paid off. Yeah, again, not in pre-order, but that's coming home. So there you have it. They are the 10 announcements of 2022 that I was most excited about in no particular order, and I actually had a lot of fun making this video and talking, because this is such a positive video, because it's all stuff I'm excited about. So yeah, that's where we are. If you want to support the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Let me know if you've, out of this, let me know out of this list of 10, Do you share my sentiments on this? Like, are you excited about any of these? Have you pre-ordered any? Yeah, that's the question. Have you pre-ordered any of these 10 on this list? Or also let me know, like, what were you most excited about what announcements were made in 2022. Also follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.